let's start counting down some centers. Numbers 1 to 15. And don't click over now, because Fantasy Basketball 101 starts right now. Number 1, Andrew Bynum, the new 76ers center. Last year he had 19 points, 12 rebounds, and about 2 blocks per game. Pretty nasty numbers. This year he's projected even better numbers. 21 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. And he's the guy in Philadelphia, unlike LA. He's the guy, so he's going to get the ball more often than he did in LA. So his fantasy numbers are going to be up. If he can stay on the court, then he's going to be the number 1 center in the league. But he should miss. He's 50-50 for the first 2 games of the season. But other than that, he's going to be healthy and awesome. Number 2, center Dwight Howard. He's always number 1, but not this year. Last season, 20.6 points, 14.5 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks a game. Even better numbers than Bynum. But now, Dwight is teammates with Pau Gasol, Antoine Jameson, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, all these awesome players. He's not going to get the ball as much as Andrew Bynum will. So that's why he's projecting 18.7 points, 13 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks. Still pretty nasty numbers, but not quite as good as the potential of Andrew Bynum. Number 3, DeMarcus Cousins. I have this guy in 2 out of my 3 leagues. I love him for this year. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 1.2 blocks is what he did last year. This year, his projection, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. He's going to be an amazing player this year. He's going to get the ball a ton. So expect a humongous fantasy season from DeMarcus Cousins. Number 4, Al Jefferson. He's around every single year. Last year, 19.2 points, 9.6 rebounds, 1.7 blocks. Very good numbers. But I expect a little decline in Al Jefferson because Derek Favors is a new power forward center for the Jazz, and Gordon Hayward, he's a shooting guard. Those 2 guys are going to get the ball more than they did last year, meaning Jefferson's going to get the ball less, leading to his decreasing numbers, but it still should be around 18.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, 1.5 blocks. Still a very good fantasy center. Number 5, Greg Monroe. Another guy I love this year. Just like DeMarcus Cousins, I have Greg Monroe in 2 out of my 3 leagues too. I love him. Last season, 15.5 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals. He doesn't get many blocks, but he gets a lot of steals for a big man, so that the steals and blocks should be about even with most centers. 2013 projection, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.2 assists. Pretty beast numbers. He should be. I like his upside more than Al Jefferson, but if you want consistency, then get Jefferson. But I took Monroe over Jefferson in 1 league, so I like Monroe this year a lot. Number 6, Marcin Gortat. Another guy I love a lot this year. Last year, 15.5 points, 10 rebounds, 1.5 blocks. A pretty remarkable season. This year, without Steve Nash, he's going to project 15.5 points, 10.2 rebounds, 1.6 blocks. But I think he's a better year than that. I think 16 points, 10.5 to 11 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. I expect a great year from Marcin Gortat. Number 7, Al Horford. He's one of the better players in the game when he's healthy, and that was not last year. He played 11 games last year and only had 11.4 points, 7 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. But you can't judge it on that because he wasn't fully healthy. In the playoffs of last season, Al Horford was typical Al Horford and had pretty big numbers. And that's what I expect this year. 17.5 points, 10 rebounds, 1.1 blocks. But I like a guy like Marcin Gortat and Greg Monroe better because they've proven to stay on the field, unlike Horford. But he should have a pretty monster year either way. Number 8, Roy Hibbert. People think he's kind of high in my rankings, but I like him a lot this year. Last year, 13 points, about 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. 2013 projection, about 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2.5 blocks. That's a ton of a block. That's a ton of blocks. So, I expect Hibbert to have a phenomenal year draft him high. Number 9, Marc Gasol. People have him at the number 3 center, but I don't get why. What's so sexy about this guy's numbers? Marcin Gortat, Al Horford, and Roy Hibbert have better numbers than Gasol, so why is Gasol so high? 14.6 points, about 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. A very good season, but I don't see why everyone likes Gasol so much. 2013 projection, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 1.8 blocks. Still a very good center, but I would pass on him, and I'd get numbers 1 through 8 first. Serge Ibaka, another guy who I think is overrated. He only had 9 points last year and 7.5 rebounds. How can he be a top 5 center if he only has that numbers? I know he has 3.7 blocks. That's crazy. But his projection is only 10.6 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks. The blocks are crazy, but the points aren't that good. And the rebounds are pretty good, but not phenomenal. So why is everyone so high on Serge Ibaka if he only excels in one category? Number 11, Kevin Garnett. He's a beast, and he's going to continue his consistency. Last year, about 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block, and he gets around a steal per game. So he has a lot of different things he can do for fantasy basketball owners. 2013 projection, 15 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1 steal, and about 1 block a game. He should have a very similar season to what he did last year. Expect big numbers from Garnett, as usual. Number 12, Joakim Noah. Another guy who gets injured, it seems, every single year. 10.2 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks was his numbers last year. This year, he's going to have 1,000 points, in my opinion. 13.4 points, 11.3 rebounds, 1.6 blocks is Joakim Noah's projection for next year. I think he's going to have a big year as long as he stays on the court. Tyson Chandler. I have him kind of high because he doesn't score that much. But I like him. 11.3 points, 10 rebounds, 1.5 blocks last year. Pretty good numbers. This year, he's projected 11 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. He's going to get a lot of blocks and a lot of rebounds. His points will be around 11 or 12, and that's not bad. But he's going to get a ton of rebounds, ton of blocks, and that's why you should draft him. Number 14, Nikola Pekovic. Yes, you heard me right. Nikola Pekovic is number 14. He jumped my rankings. Last season, around 14 points, 7.4 rebounds, but he doesn't get many blocks. Only 0.7 blocks a game. Not very good. But his 2013 projection, 14 points, almost 9 rebounds, and 0.7 blocks, is very good. Now, 14 points, 9 rebounds, isn't that about the same what Marc Gasol is going to get? So why? This guy you can get very late in the round. Sometimes he's even a free agent after the draft. So why not take a chance on him? And Kevin Love's injured the first 15 to 20 games. So he's going to get the ball a lot in the post and inside. So draft high in Nikola Pekovic. Number 15, Brook Lopez. I hate to have him this high because I am not a fantasy fan of Brook Lopez. 19 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 0.8 blocks last year. But he only played 5 games. He can't stay on the court. How can you expect him to produce big if he can't even stay on the court? Now, if he does stay on the court, though, here's what his projection will be and what his playing will be. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 1.7 blocks. Pretty big numbers, but he's a wild card. If he can stay on the court, he's going to be a top 10 center. If he can't, he won't even be in the top 15. So he's a wild card. I wouldn't draft him, but if he falls late in drafts, why not just snag him up? Thanks for watching.